And we're back, guys, with the second series of the evening, or whatever time zone you're in, morning, night, noonish, doesn't really matter. I hope you enjoyed the Dota so far. Yellow Submarine, very convincing in game 1. Game 2, of course, a bit overshadowed by some technical issues, but still we had a nice series to watch. Now, a team I have never ever casted before, at least not in this composition, but we have Taco Life with a lot of names we know, obviously. It's Miracle, it's Hanskin, Jalopy, you know all these names. On the other side, of course, 4AEC, similar to other teams at the moment, the European scene, a very up-and-coming team that was shining so far. I think they just played their MG qualifiers and they come directly from there into this game. I don't even know the results of these games. Maybe they won and they swim now on the wave of victory. Who knows, GrandisV? Let's go into the draft.
Yeah. Just a clarification, this isn't the AK Miracle, but he is the Miracle that was playing with Turtle Masters and Flipside Tactics before that. He's a very competent player in his own right, and a lot of star power coming out from Taco Life. The only games that I have on record for them, it was a series up against Moscow 5, and they lost 0-2, but I don't think that's super surprising to anybody.
By the way, I also have news. Like the MG during Dota thingy they just played was versus Burden. Also a team that is in this tournament. By the way, they have the least played games at the moment with 0. So whoever wins today, they have to, like one of the teams, they have to challenge Burden. Like there's just 2 teams left with 0 games. That is Scary Faces and Burden United. So today it's really like up for the grabs. You can choose between Scary Faces or Burden United. That's the choice you have. So for ASC, they got beaten by Burden United and come into this game against a new stack. So maybe they get the victory here.
Yeah, let's wait and see. The draft's progressing pretty slowly. 4Anchor is going to take their time with those first couple bans. Banning out Beastmaster and Disruptor after a Leshrac and Tusk ban. A lot of very potent mid-heroes left inside the pool. Shadow Fiend, Queen of Pain, Storm Spirit to name a few. And then you have Clockwork and Dying. So many powerhouse heroes.
Yep. Except for the Leshrac, we still have all the cores available, so we can still see Shadow Fiend, Gyrocopter, the Queen of Pain, like the very likely European picks. And I wonder if they directly go for it, or do we see a similar structure where they're gonna like just save the utility heroes later on, or maybe just right now for the first 2 picks just to save them, and they say we can work around other cores, that's no problem.
Yeah, taking a lot of time. Yeah, nobody's disconnected. They're going to start things off with a Shadow Fiend pick for 4 Anchors. No big surprises there. They'll want to pick up something like an Earthshaker, Dazzle, Winter Wyvern to back that Shadow Fiend up in mid, but let's see what Taco Life are going to respond with. I think Clockwork is a very likely pick here for Taco Life, not only because Clockwork's great on the dire side and great in general, but it's also good against that Shadow Fiend and against the potential Earthshaker that usually comes out to follow up the SF. So the biggest question is what's going to follow that Clockwork, or they still could pick up something else. I suppose there are a lot of heroes still left.
Yep. We get the Taco Life. They really do it? That's a surprise to me. Like the IO Tiny combination is something we don't see that often anymore, for a simple reason. It's not that successful anymore. Like it's, I think, below 50% win ratio even. Therefore, yeah, a lot of people like go away from it. Sometimes we still see it appear. It's not the draft I wanted to see from a team that's completely new. Then again, maybe they have, I don't know, something special in mind.
Well, I'm not sure if it's necessarily something special, but it is what we're going to be seeing. IO Tiny's combination that's cropped up time and time again, and really with limited success. The IO Tiny is very common, and a lot of teams are very comfortable working around it. Earthshaker is going to pick up for to follow up that Shadow Fiend for 4 Anchors. No big surprises there. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. It is something that Taco Life's players individually are very skilled with running, so it is in their comfort zone.
Earthshaker, Shadow Fiend, well, that's solid as it is. And now for AAC, they ban out more utility heroes like candidates for the offline. Well, there goes the Clockwork. We already had the Beastmaster and the Disruptor out. Winter Wyvern also not part of this game. I'm often surprised that he still gets through in certain drafts, because if you really recapture all these games and then you remember what kind of role he played, he's really sometimes make or break in most of these games. So they're all banned out. Like this is gonna be one of these very straightforward games where not much utility is really used.
Yeah, very interesting. As far as the next couple bans are concerned, with Disruptor already taken off of the table, Taco Life might ban out the Witch Doctor if they're worried about another support, but there's still a lot of flexibility from both of these teams. Four Anchors could follow up the Earthshaker with just any sort of stun to back that up. Something like a Lina could work out nicely, but for now it's just going to be a Broodmother ban for Four Anchors. It's a hero that's almost constantly seen in that fourth ban slot. Nobody wants to play against the Brood, even if it's not the ideal pick. It's just super annoying. Well, and to Taco Life's next ban, I'm not sure what they're going to be most scared of coming out from Four Anchors at the moment. Something like that, Lena or Witch Doctor, would fit comfortably inside this ban because I think that's in line with what Four Anchors want to be picking up. But yeah, let's see. Tiny both struggle from being fairly low armor heroes, and instead they're going to ban the Keeper of the Light. Pretty interesting there. Keeper could have been something that Four Anchors would have been interested in, although they don't have a partner for it just yet. And Taco Life will go ahead and pick up the Queen of Pain. It's very peculiar to see Queen of Pain picked up following the Tiny combination. Even though they work reasonably together, usually both of those will be vying for mid lane and wanting to get that extra bit of experience advantage. The Queen of Pain has potential to go into the offlane this game. We'll just have to wait and see. When Four Anchors run this Earthshaker, it should be roaming mid for a good portion of this game. That might give them just enough room in the lane stage to keep the Queen of Pain safe and apply pressure to the safe lane. All right, now up to Four Anchors for their next pick. They'll want to make sure that whatever they choose here is going to be a lane self-sufficient support if they are going to fill that support role for their team. And I think Witch Doctor pretty much takes the cake there. A good poking and prodding support that can keep most heroes safe. But instead it's going to be Line. Fair enough. It fills a similar niche, although his lockdown is more reliable and has good burst to kill off the IO. In general, a stable pick from Four Anchors. Well, now it's Taco Life's turn to go into this one. And, well, they're still lacking their offlaner. What do you think it's going to be, Heflmaoke?
Ha! I'm back. Don't worry.
Excellent.
Well, I'm just looking at the Lion and Queen of Pain. Well, there is the big fat magic damage coming out. I just wonder if someone also goes for the Lina. That would pretty much like have the three ladies that could... No, actually, Lion is not a lady. But, you know, he also got like the burst finger. But that would finish the entire thing. Then we have it all on the pitch like yesterday, but we had it in all in one team that was even sicker. We get the Undying. Finally, we get the Undying. It's such a strong hero in other scenes. Southeast Asia and China, they pick the Undying like it's gold, just like the Tusk. Here in Europe, Undying last game was banned like 4th position or something, or 5th position, something like that. It got completely ignored, even though that Tombstone is just pain in the butt all the way.
An interesting response to this Undying. It's going to be a Bloodseeker. I'm a little bit scared for Bloodseeker this game, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of burst coming out from Taco Life, and it's going to be very difficult for Bloodseeker to appropriately get on top of these heroes. And I don't see the real benefit of picking up the Bloodseeker instead of something like a Gyrocopter. A more natural counter than Undying can deal with all of the zombies very well, and is in general just a safer hero to pick up. But it is going to put Four Anchors on more of an aggressive path, and let's see how it works out for them. Bloodseeker is still a very good hero in pretty much any lineup that you draft him in, although I think this one might be one of the worst lineups.
Yep, Bloodseeker. At the moment, I'm looking for something that actually can deal with the Tombstone, which is, of course, a big problem. We have the Queen of Pain, big fat AoE, brings people low, which also, of course, enrages the zombies and everything. We have the Tiny holding them in place just in case they go for the Tombstone, and that's, of course, the worst thing. We need really fast a BKB on that Shadow Fiend. I don't think the Bloodseeker gets around that item either. It has to come as a first or second item, pretty much. Otherwise, I just don't see this one happening. For Rupture targets, we have, of course, also the Undying. If they established a Battle Crown, we have also some nice burst healing coming in. Maybe the IO also doing something, so that's getting really, really interesting. We have to see how much the Earthshaker can do later on with Blinking, Acro Slam, but then again, Undying, say it, with the zombies and everything, if they do not get the Tombstone down, then you have the biggest problem of all. You cannot... like Blink 4 from back, it comes down to 4 staffs. What I'm really surprised is that no one banned out the Naga, because the best way to counter Undying nowadays, if it's really going for a similar farmed 5-on-5 fight, is the Naga. Like, they pop one BKB and a Tombstone. What you do, you focus on those two targets. Suddenly you have a 5-on-2 situation. One is the Tombstone that's later into the game a Shadow Fiend with like 3 or 4 hits, plus the target that is BKB'd, and then the song fades and you go for the rest of them. But yeah, nobody banned the Naga, so I would definitely say make that a offline Earthshaker, a Shadow Fiend in the mid with a Bloodseeker Lion, and a Naga in the safe lane. That would be my suggestion if I was a drafter, but hell, I'm a clueless caster. What do I know?
I'm not sure I like the Naga Siren too much for 4 anchors. It feels like a really one-dimensional pick for them.
You just calling me one-dimensional, Grandis?
No, not
Are you sure the repercussions of that statement?
The only benefit to that Naga Siren is that song, and it's a very low cooldown, especially when you run Naga Siren as a support. It would take a lot of room for 4 anchors to really pull that one through, and I think it's a little too passive for their liking this game. It would make their lanes really, really weak. For Taco Life, it's going to be a Puck. I have no idea how these lanes are going to end up shaking down for them. There is potential for dual lanes with the Undying, but they have so much flexibility with where they can throw these heroes. The IO Tiny, presumably into safe lane or mid, but outside of that, they could shuffle around these heroes in any number of fashions.
Yep, and the Nyx Assassin is coming out. Not my Naga guess. I really wanted to see it just as a nice response, but it's not coming through. Therefore, Puck and Nyx Assassin, last pick. The Puck, of course, is a nice setup because it just doesn't let you get away if the Dream Coil really is nice. That means you are forced to fight around a Tombstone. The Queen of Pain is very likely to find at least a triple wave, and of course also the Tiny is happy about this very, very close fights. He wants to hug you, but of course these hugs, they really hurt. On the other side, if it's too clutch, maybe we're gonna see some nice comebacks with the Earthshaker. Choke points, the Blood Rite might actually do something. I was kind of disappointed about Krilly's Nyx Assassin, not by Krilly's plays, just the fact that the other team, they had a lot of nice vision around the choke points, and then he fell apart in the later game. He had like all these utility items, but no stats. So once the BKB was popped, Spike Carapace just did nothing pretty much anymore, and he was really just ripped into pieces, and I just hope we don't see the same fate on this Nyx Assassin. So let's just go into introducing these teams.
Yeah, let's see if Trixie's gonna have a better time. He's gonna be playing on that Nyx Assassin, heading out to the offlane with Poor Man Shield first. Nempty is gonna be taking the Shadow Fiend in mid. Boogie and playing the Earthshaker. Yesterday you said tomorrow, just do it, Earthshaker. I believe in you. Valak's gonna be playing on the Lion, and Bloodseeker to round out their lineup by Stone.
Yeah, and on the other side we have here Jalopy on the Queen of Pain. We have Miracle playing that Undying. Jonas Somfan is on the Puck. We have Henskin. I love how they, make their names. It's just horrible, but they play with a team that's called Taco Life. So what do I expect? Henskin is on that IO, and we have Ape Mother on the Tiny. And we have to see how that Tiny actually unfolds. At the moment, they just clear out some trees, potentially for some nice stacking later on, where he can go for the burst farm. And this is gonna be a dual mid lane.
Yeah, kind of to be expected when you're running with this IO Tiny. But bottom Maroon spot looks like that's going to be sat upon. If they can secure it for the IO, that's a 0-minute bottle for the Wisp, and that's going to help out Taco Life quite a bit if they are going to settle down inside that mid lane as expected. The bottom dual lane might be a little bit more interesting. Undying Queen of Pain can get a lot of work done against this Bloodseeker. It's so much pressure applied.
Yep, and the top rune, it's a 50-50 split. Top and bottom is a 50-50 split. No one was trying anything there. It was really just a bit scouting that came out. That's pretty much anything. So let's go into that laning. The Bloodseeker being left alone against Queen of Pain, I'm not so sure if that actually works out, because the Undying is there and he will spam decay all the way. And if you get too low and plus you're slowed by the Shadow Strike, then the zombies will just eat you up. And it's not like in the Hollywood movies, you cannot shoot them in the head and then it's all fine. No, there's just so many zombies spawning that you can't really do anything in the mid. And Shadow Fiend taking already a lot of damage to raises, not coming through. Ape Mother, well, getting healed up by that first item IO.
Down the bottom lane, a pretty interesting development here. This dual lane could end up exploding for either side, but right now the Undying's going to be flexing his muscles with the constant decay spam, especially the Lion's going to be dropped to very low amounts of HP. Even with just one decay stack, his max HP is sitting at less than 400. Now he's at 302 max. That is very, very threatening. With only one armor on this hero, they could very feasibly chase him down. Once they get level 2, this is really where this lane gets super scary. Fissure in mid, they'll get the toss back onto the Shadow Fiend, and it might just be enough for first blood. A little bit more right-click damage is required, and they won't quite find it. Nempi will find himself a spot inside the trees, and that'll save his life. But nobody's going to die in return. The IO is flat out of bottle charges, so that's going to be a little bit problematic for them. But for now, things will remain as they were. A dual lane versus dual lane in mid and bottom.
Yep, I'm really surprised the Queen of Pain till now didn't skill anything, so there was no Shadow Strike harass coming out. Now you can actually start with that. They denied a lot of last hit of the Bloodseeker, so there was no active healing all the time, but I think she was just holding back, because usually if you lane one-on-one against the Bloodseeker, it's kinda in vain to even use that mana on him, so that mana should go probably on Valix in this case. But oh, look at it, the right clicks are coming through. He's gonna get that bounty rune. The question is, no, I think we're gonna look here at the first fight. They're gonna get him, but also Queen of Pain so low at the moment. The right clicks are going through. Beautiful Fissure holding them all three in place, but now, is that enough movement speed and everything, or does he actually turn around? Sona is not hitting that IO, actually, so I'm not really sure if hitting wouldn't be better, but now he's chasing into Roshan, while on the mid the Tiny's dying, and Roshan is gonna end this one, denied by the big King Kongor, but still, it's a 2-for-2 trade if you count all that in. Of course, one is a deny out of all of this.
Yeah, and losing the Tiny in mid is very bad. Even though the IO gets first blood to somewhat fix that trade into Taco's favor, the Bloodseeker deny really messes with things. They'll still be able to play very aggressively in their lanes, but across the map, that's really good for 4ASC, and surprising for me is how well Trixie's doing against this Puck. This Nyx Assassin's getting free farm, 14-7.
Oh, and look at this, there was a sentry ward. They expected him to have that invisibility rune, and yeah, rightly so, they just pop it. And there we go. So the surprise attack did not come, but there was anyway no one around like the Earthshaker that could have done anything. The IO at the moment is like doing a good job, I was about to say, but he's also really close to, yeah, dying to raises if there was a right one available.
Big value sentry. They also get the D-ward on the high ground vision that's now denied away from the Shadow Fiend. The game will progress as it was previously. The big disadvantage for 4ASC is Bloodseeker's not farming well at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they rotate him into the jungle sooner rather than later.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, he's a 3-1 Bloodseeker, and he just doesn't take the risk to actually go for it, because if he goes too deep, then, yeah, there's just no chance. Even the Undying without decay stacks is just getting the denies with, like, a way better right-click damage right there. Oh, look in a minute. Never mind. Their Ape Mother is actually getting out, or is he? Well, there is a toss back. Just, you shall not pass. And he's just getting kicked off. But look at this. They want to go here for Valix. The zombies are out. He's trying to stun them, but yes, that's definitely a kill. The first tombstone of the game we see. And Sona, he's using that Valve. No, he's not using Valve. Nobody wants to use Valve. He's using the Self, just getting under the tower.
Yeah, nice rotation in from the IO, and Tiny's not really losing much in the meantime either. He's gonna need the IO before he can comfortably sit against the Shadow Fiend, and even though it is a dual lane against the SF, he's not going to be shut down in farm. In fact, he's doing quite well for himself. He has a good-sized stack over in his large camp, a triple stack, 2 birds, and a troll. And, well, with that extra bit of farm acceleration, Nempi's going to find himself quite a lot in this game.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually that Henskin leaves Ape Mother so much alone in the mid. I mean, now he's stacking, of course, for the Tiny, but also about those stacks, they really have to be careful. Like, they have to be cleared in time, otherwise, just make it one good fight. Like, let's say 3 in the mid, they rotate north, and you just race through those camps, and the Shadow Fiend says, "Thank you for stacking. I mean, you're not even on my team, but still, thank you." So that's the kind of fear I have. That's the same when a Gyrocopter like gets a big Ancient Camp stacked, but he's really late on it, and then suddenly the enemy clears.
Oh, top lane! Fissure Impel into the Puck. They're going to layer the stuns quite a bit, and I don't think they have the damage. They'll try for it. Puck has a phase shift and an illusory orb. They'll chase for it, but Johnson Fan is going to be just fine.
That was so close. The Vendetta hit just 50 HP more, 50 damage more, and that would have really done the trick. The IO at the moment, well, there's a nice ward. He's actually going uphill just to put the ward downhill, so that's very interesting. Losing some HP with the overload, and then probably just tethering to Ape Mother.
Yep, and back to his Tiny is going to go. In the meantime, Bloodseeker picks up a little bit of farm inside the woods, but the Undying interrupts him. He's going to just drop 1 decay, and with that, they'll force the Bloodseeker away. This Bloodseeker is having a really bad time. He's died once. That was to Roshan. It was a deny, but his farm income just isn't there compared to the other farmers in this game.
Yep, absolutely, and well, top. That is actually quite nice combo they could do on the puck, but the puck is playing so passive at the moment here. Like Jonas something, he's even going back. It's not really like a walk back into the fountain, not staying around for experience. I mean, the timing is good. The creep whip is far pushed out, so there's nothing really else to grab. How is Ape Mother doing? 26 and 5. Besides that kill, of course, for the Shadow Fiend. The Shadow Fiend is 47 and 3, leading there by over 20 CS plus, of course, the kill on him. So the lane not going as planned, but still okay for the fact that the...
Oh, Tombstone dropped. They'll jump over towards Valix. Will the damage be there at will? With that Soul Rip, even a TP won't save the line. And when you go for a TP play like that, it's very costly on these sports. Not only is that 100 gold down the drain, but now for the next some time, he's not going to have that available to react to ganks. The Eye's going to play very aggressively. That's ballsy play by Handskin, more ways than one. But it's not going to be punished. They don't get the fissure into raises.
Oh, that was such a nice pun. Io is going for a ballsy play. Okay, anyway. No, he's really, like, he got the balls. 2 of it. It's not just one glowing one. He actually got a pair. And it's kind of interesting because 4AC, they really bent to it. I thought the Earthshaker is going to turn around the second he sees Io, and then the Shadow Fiend is going for raises, but the problem is, I don't know, they just didn't feel like it. They didn't know what the Undying is. By the way, like, also the Undying, like, very interesting build. Just 1 point in decay. That 1 point in Soul Rip was a value point for the last kill on that Lion, and 3 points into the Tombstone. So this is really full Tombstone action. And now look at the Nyx. The first time he's looking for something. Clearing out stacks would be interesting. He's even blocking this one. Just, you know, now that I'm here, I might as well just block it.
Bottom rune spot. Yeah, they're gonna drop this Tombstone, blow up the poor Earthshaker. There's no hope. After you use Tombstone as well as the Sonic Wave, the supports can't survive, but they're gonna chase forward. They can get in range for any sort of disable. This could get interesting, but Nemphy is too fast. Shadow Fiend will be safe under his tower, even though there are 4 heroes chasing him.
Now they needed a second Tiny that throws the Tiny on the Shadow Fiend. That way it could have worked, but unfortunately you cannot replicate heroes, unless of course you're a lifestealer with Argana Scepter or something like that. Top. Like, that puck so far was not doing bad. However, he did not rotate. I mean, so far we had the Nyx Assassin at least trying to go somewhere, try to make something happen. All he achieved with that Vendetta was pretty much like blocking a camp. Nothing else was done that day. But he could really help.
Bottom lane. Hex onto the Queen of Pain. They're going to get the Earth Spike and the follow-up. Silence will be enough to get Jalopy killed, however. They'll bring the puck, looking for the John forward onto the loser orb with the Undying come in from the left. Valks is going to take a lot of hard punches from the Undying in these heroes and is going to go down one way or another. A killing spree for Miracle.
Yep, I mean, the puck rotated in here wasn't even necessary, but if he would have found the Dream Coil on the Bloodseeker, who's only 9 minutes into this game, a safe line Bloodseeker is going for a level 6 just now, so he's really far behind, not just in farm or CS, also the experience totally lacking. A Dream Coil on him would have been probably a 100% kill. The Undying going forward, and we have a Tombstone. Oh lord, this is really gonna be bad. There's the scouting, but is there a Dream Coil? Yes, Dream Coil is coming up. There's still a Fissure available. Requiem just for good measures, but it's gonna be dodged. Everything is gonna be dodged. Now there's the orb, and with the avalanche, no, the toss is coming directly on top of it. Another decay, but Soul Rip is not enough. Now the avalanche is coming through, also hitting here the poor Lion, and the little balls of the big ball is damaging, and there we go. Little light bulb is getting tossed directly on top of the bad demon, and they want revenge.
They're going to stalk forward with the Nyx Assassin. He has a Vendetta as well as the Impale. Vendetta hit, not going to be used. They're going to get the stun on puck instead. Avalanche catches 2. The toss is available, and it is going to land onto the Io, and Nyx Assassin's dropped low. They need one more punch from anybody. Can they chase him down? They just need a little bit more. Ape Mother gets the toss. That'll be the death of the Nyx Assassin. On the other side of the fight, Bloodseeker's going to go down to the Queen of Pain. Even without the Sonic Wave, this Bloodseeker just can't stand strong in these fights with hardly any farm to his name. With just Brown Boots, Poor Man's Shield, the burst damage is too much for him.
Yeah, it was actually quite hilarious. Too bad I showed the... You talked about the Tiny kill, and I talked about... I was showing the Bloodseeker attempting the light bulb kill, which was really unfortunate. He tried to TP out, was interrupted there by the Fissure, but the Fissure also at the same time blocking off the The Bloodseekers TP there, and oh, that's really gonna be an interesting one here. Jalopy TPing out with the Rupture. I guess it was worth a try. It's a low cooldown anyway, so you might as well just go for it.
Yeah, you might as well. Things will slow down a bit, but Taco Life, they're getting so much momentum inside of all of these trades. Even though 4ASC are getting a little bit more farm on the Shadow Fiend and a little bit more farm on the Nyx Assassin compared to their counterparts on the enemy team, 2 and 10 tends to make things really good for their side.
The combo. Look at the smoke.
Yeah,
this is Dream Coil Tombstone combination, and it's horribly deadly.
And it looks like they want to go for the Bloodseeker, and this time around there's no real surviving it. They'll use the Dream Coil, they kind of have to, but nothing can do about it. They'll drop the silence before falling down. It catches out 3, but there is absolutely no follow-up. Up in top lane, Trixie's going to find himself inside the trees and will TP home to safety, or just back to the tier 2 rather.
Yep, he tries to go back to lane. A mana burn on a Tiny usually a good thing. With Io like tethered to him, that umbilical cord will always feed him with mana, the necessary mana, at least for one of the combo toss avalanche. That should just do the trick. In the mid, the Shadow Fiend does the right thing. He goes for the tower. It is pretty low at this point, but this Fisher nicely blocking it off. We have a Puck that is trying to get the
relocate in mid.
Relocate. Oh lord, blowing the Shadow Fiend up. That was not worth that tower, and they might even come back just to do something on the Earthshaker, but nah, it's not gonna happen. We don't have a Dream Coil available at this point, so Puck with Haste Rune, he can't really do anything, so yeah. By the way, look at Haste Rune Puck that uses a bottle. He looks a bit like a rainbow. Come on.
I'll leave that there. Yeah, in the meantime, back in Dota land, the tier 1 tower in mid's going down. It'll be glyphed up by 4ASC, but they should have more than enough damage to take this through. That relocate was pretty interesting. It was more or less just used as a poor man's blink dagger. The Shadow Fiend tries for a Requiem channel, but it's not going to happen in a million years. Up towards top, Dreamcool is cooling down in 4 seconds, and it looks like they want to make it go. They'll TP in, Vendetta is going to be used. Dreamcool will catch up the Nyx Assassin. They have detection on the ground. I was coming in from the sidelines, but still no dust, no sentries, so that's just Dreamcoil for nothing. Earthshaker's up in the top. Boogie, can he survive? It looks like they're going to catch eyes on him shortly. No, they don't go north enough, and the Earthshaker will live.
Here, boys, I drew you an arrow, but nah, nobody's gonna listen to me here. But that one is really hilarious. It's not gonna happen. The fat cow hiding behind a tree, and it actually works.
Impale up top, going to be attempted, but Trixie not going to line that up onto 8 Mother. Right now, the Tiny is pretty low on mana, but as soon as he gets tethered up and then the double Arcane Seal from the Undying, he's back up and running at full, so Taco are ready to look for a fight. But this Earthshaker hiding in the trees could make things very interesting. He's going for the wraparound. Look at the Rupture onto the Puck. Tombstone's on the ground. Fisher will catch out too. Impale to follow up only on the Miracle. The Undying will be fingered of death, and that will be the end of his life. What was that relocate coming up from Handskin? That was pretty much just a leap and a jump away. Now it looks like the relocate is going to end up hurting him quite a bit. On the return trip, Io is going to die even though he's only a couple feet away. Impale's going to miss, but they'll get the second raise. Bloodseeker will find that kill.
Yeah, like in the end, it's like I'm pretty sure Taco was totally surprised by the fact that like suddenly there's a fissure behind you. So that's the point where I realized, oops, we totally forgot to check the trees. But talking about checking, like at the moment Nyx Assassin without a Vendetta is checking for the Queen of Pain. And it was also, by the way, curious, like the Jalopy blink forward, scream on Trixie, still having the Vendetta, which he knows probably because they saw that the last fight he was not coming in with the Vendetta, so it's really just maybe baiting the Vendetta out, I don't know. But yeah, last fight, to finish my thought there, they actually thought he's still under the Dream Coil, but he broke it, and then the Dream Coil animation shows the central point of the last Dream Coil, like where you initiated it, and then they were throwing everything. There was Avalanche, Toss, Waning Rift, as well as the Orb and Spirits. They really tried to kill a target that is not there. So I think next time they should definitely be equipped with a Sentry Ward or Dust against that Nyx.
And they have Dust on the Io, so next time around, that shouldn't be the case. Big item pickups are going to be coming all around. The Shadow Fiend is super farmed. He has the mechanism up to 2,000 gold on top of that near enough. You almost have the Orchid from the Queen of Pain. You're working on a Midas for the Nyx. And top lane, there's going to be the Fissure. 1 raise, 2 raise will connect with the Impale, and they get in range for the third. That's the full combo from the Shadow Fiend. Does a hell of a lot of damage. The relocate from Handskin won't save the SF's life. Miracle's going to be hexed up. Now the IO is going to be stuck in the front lines again. He's going to need to charge before. They'll drop the Tombstone on the ground. Sonic Wave catches out 3, but it's a double kill for Trixie. Just the same. Blinking from Jalopy, but he's isolated. Echo Slam, and that's going to be the death of pretty much everybody.
Zombies.
These zombies are killing off the Earthshakers. So trying to jump forward, the Puck is going to be able to get the blink and the combo, but with a couple of these zombie kills, Bloodseeker will sustain himself. It's a full 5-man wipe.
Oh, how did that happen? Like, the Puck just coming so late. This would have been so incredibly good with the zombies, like, just going fully nuts on everyone, like, bringing them really low HP. I mean, the mech was amazingly used there. It was really just 5 to 12 when they used the mech, but still, like, just the fast initiation and the Tiny also, like, still alive. That would have been a horrible fight for 4 AC, but yeah, Taco just didn't have any resources to throw in there anymore. The Tombstone was the best player here, pretty much for Taco, and when that one went down, it was over.
Yeah. And that translates into your Midas for the Nyx Assassin. That'll fly out, and he's already halfway towards his Blink Dagger after picking up that Midas. Huge amount of farm for Trixie on this Nyx. He's the second highest net worth in the game, not something you see very often. Shadow Fiend will straight up buy a Blink Dagger, sells 1,000 gold in the bank after that, and things are looking really good for 4 ASC after a bit of a shaky start when it came to kills. But even when they were down kills, they were still farming more efficiently than Taco. Even though Tiny can farm pretty quickly, it's not until you get Ags that it really starts picking up.
I think you summed it up correctly. It's like them being behind in kills, yet farming efficiently. Now them catching up with kills and farming efficiently means they really have a nice comeback. I mean, this is a 6k swing, roundabout that here on the graph with 17 minutes in, showing that is probably the best timing. These two fights, they cost Taco their life. Oh god, that was such a bad one. Taco Life is an awesome name. I think this is not the last joke I made about it, but Nyx Assassin.
Oh, good lane. Yeah, that was a very surprising kill. They're going to try to punish it, relocating forward. They get the Avalanche to connect and dust up Trixie. No hope for the Assassin to survive here, although he is going to carry up his dodge. The toss and get an impale onto the IO. That might secure the IO kill, but he's healing a lot with the overcharge. They'll toss forward. The Bloodseeker, the zombie's going to keep on chasing him, will go down. It's a double kill for Miracle, and in the meantime, Undying finds himself with a lot of gold in his pocket.
Yep, top, however, they still go for the tier 2 tower, but I think it was okay straight punishing the Nyx Assassin after he somehow found that solo kill on a Queen of Pain. That should not happen under normal circumstances, but I mean, she doesn't have too much such. She goes for Orchid right away, which is not bad, because with that Orchid she can really do wonders. I mean, the Earthshaker, the Lion, etc., these are targets you can easily blow up if they're Orchided, because their utility spells may be really just a stun or a hex. This is what prevents them from dying under normal circumstances. With the Orchid, that's not gonna happen. So, Nymphy, how's Nymphy actually doing? I mean, he had a good lane, he had that solo kill on Ape Mother, and now he is leading the net worth by a lot. Like, 3k ahead of the Nyx Assassin, who is surprisingly, like, still the second in net worth. Then comes, of course, Ape Mother. Like, farming these stacks and everything, it didn't really help him, but of course, now he has the Arcanum Scepter. With the Arcanum Scepter, he finally has also the opportunity to, like, easily farm big, fat stacks, ancient stacks. They kind of miss the pull here, the 53 pull, but he's still gonna clean this one up.
Yeah, it's the start for come back into this game for Taco Life when it comes to the farming speed on their heroes, but it's gonna take a little bit more than that, especially if you look at these supports. There's a lot of gold tied up in this Undying as well as the IO, but they don't. Oh,
at least the Queen of Pain did. Floodrite and the TP out, that should just do the trick. They didn't really find him. The Puck was trying to make the play. He's still invisible, still in the dust, and well, there's a Nyx Assassin silenced. Is there a Dream Call? Yeah, holding him in place. Sonic Wave. Wow, that was really some nice and clean kill right there. I don't think they can really transition into the tier 2 tower. Well, actually they can. It's just a siege creep dying, and there's a new creep wave coming, and of course it's Ape Mother with Arcanum Scepter, therefore getting a lot now, also healed by the Wisp. At the moment, for AC, they're not really siege trading anything, because tier 2 is already down, tier 1 is down, the next station would be tier 2 in the mid, but the push is just not fast enough, so I think they can even finish this tower here easily. So Taco making a good trade. Nyx plus a tower, any time of the day.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of gold in his pockets, and now the Tiny has overtaken the Nyx Assassin pretty handily when it comes to net worth. And since they were behind in towers up until this point, it's gonna just be gold in the bank for Taco Life that they just cashed in on. You're up to 2,000 up for your Tiny Invisrune on the Earthshaker, but that was spotted out by a sentry, so things could get interesting for Boogie here. The Earthshaker is...
I mean, look at this. They're like at the moment home in the wrong jungle. The Dire jungle was at the moment crowded with tacos, while you have anchors pretty much always in the Dire jungle. They kind of traded the jungles. I don't know if that's some sort of agreement, but it's interesting because every time you leave your base and you enter like either the top or the mid lane, then you really are in jeopardy to be ganked, which is very interesting. But for AC, they stick together a lot, and experience-wise, that is probably not really the best thing. Besides, of course, the kill, they lose quite some experience overall, and also the net worth is now, thanks to the tower and the next kill, and not also the best efficient farm, is pretty much equalized. So 11-16, 21st minute, and we can call this game pretty much the horn of the game, aka 0 seconds.
For AC are going to smoke up. It looks like they want to break this equilibrium. And let's see if they can accomplish it. They still don't have a Blink Dagger in the Earthshaker. In fact, they're quite far away. Shadowfiend's going to walk potentially into a Tiny, and Io ended on dying. This could get bad for the SF, but he has backup coming in shortly.
Oh god.
Yeah, this is bad. Tombstone on the ground. They'll be able to focus this. Blink away by Nymphy. He's going to go straight for Miracle. And with that... Oh my goodness, he actually dies to the relocate. That was something. I don't think I've seen that one before, but yeah, Undying down.
Oh, this one was just amazing. Either way, the poor Io is going down. But yeah, that relocate save, that was pretty amazing. I think... I mean, it would have been amazing if you actually relocated him back to the base, given that he was like on 100 HP, that's how it felt, at least. But, okay, this way, I guess he tried that he somehow could do something in the fight. Oh, but Lion also found at the rune. That is an easy kill, but there's the revenge, there is the next assassin, and the mana burn just makes it impossible for, well, the Puck to actually do something. But now he's silenced, but he's still pursuing. The Sonic Wave actually did that one hit. I'm not so sure. The ball lightning, I was about to say. No, the orb is gonna get it down, but that Sonic Wave on my screen looked completely off target, but okay.
It looks like it did the damage, and with the Orchid Amplification, it wasn't enough to kill the next assassin, so even if it missed, it worked out. Down bottom, Fissure catches out Jalopy, but they won't have any follow-up as Nymphy's going to get Orchided up. The Undying TP's in, but Miracle's taking so much physical damage with one raise. They'll secure the kill, and Shadowfiend will TP out in the face of about 5 zombies.
Yep, the zombies were just too
Chasing
much, but
forward.
oh, nice Yule Scepter here, trying to get on the Bloodseeker, but Rupture, no, he's silenced at this point. Nice Orchid coming out, Waning Rift, there's the second silence, and the silenced Bloodseeker can't really do anything. It was the Blood Silencer right there. At least he saves with this kind of play the Earthshaker. The zombies, by the way, they're still, I don't know, these were still the zombies from the last fight. They were running from the tier 1 tower here to almost tier 2 position in the bottom lane. That's interesting.
And now the Puck going to go for a pretty aggressive move into the mid lane, going to spot eyes on the Shadowfiend as well as the Lion shortly, but is just going to jaunt forth and blink back towards his base. But oh, while this is happening, Taco Life are going for Roshan. Even though there does a lot of damage sustained by the Io, they can feasibly take this one. Before AC are close, if they have any idea of what's up, and it looks like they're going to make that move. Trixie's going in with the Vendetta. The next assassin's going to wander by the Ancients. Bumps the Undying. They're going to focus down Miracle. He gets the Tombstone on the ground, but yeah, he doesn't survive for long at all. But Roshan is going to be successful for Taco Light. But now the fight afterwards, that's where things get interesting.
Actually, I don't think there's much of a fight. Like Tiny, well, has no Blink Dagger, but he can still run. There's no one who can actually chase him down. So this is a Roshan and the Aegis for an Undying, and even the Finger of Fast Death committed for this. That's a trade. That's actually a good trade for Taco. Could have been a lot more expensive.
Yeah, and the Shadowfiend is starting to lose his grip on that top net worth slot. His 8 Mother is coming in fast, sitting on 10,000 net worth near enough, and with that Aegis, his effectiveness inside this fight is greatly increased. At the moment, Shadowfiend's gone for a lot of utility and mobility from the mech and the Blink Dagger, and although I think that's an okay
top,
choice,
maybe.
But
this really looks like a play they could do. Puck jumping on the Nyx Assassin, silencing him, and then the relocate, but they're not really ready. Where's the Wisp? There's the blink, blink, blink. Oh, nice reaction here. Spike Carapace is coming out, but there's the relocate. He's blinking out, but both of them getting hit by everything. The Puck is already going down. Nice Vendetta return, and there's the BKB trying to go for everything but the Tiny, just ignoring him, and the last hit on the Wisp is successful. Mana burn, everything going through. Even look at this, even going for the urn and whatnot. They lose the Aegis right here. The Queen of Pain tried to do something, but in the end, also not really happening. The Tiny There is the turnaround. There's nothing he can do. The time he is done with the avalanche, he's already dead.
Yeah. After all of that is done, it's a 1-for-3 trade and a really big one for 4ASC. They have to commit a couple of their ultimate cooldowns, but that's fine. Takes away the Aegis advantage that once was sitting in Taco Life's side, and really these fights are so close to even on both sides. The net worth graph pretty much tells the story of this game. We're almost zeroed out still.
It just took too long, that top fight. I mean, Jalopy got that kill on the line somewhere around the bottom rune. Yeah, that's like a nice little up. I don't know, like some nice little outlook right there. Still, that top fight, he was, I don't know, he was somewhere here, and the fact is the Knicks saw it, and they relocate on that position. It just took too long, and the Waning Rift was into a Spike Carapace, turn around with, say, with the Vendetta, and Puck's life was completely eradicated right there. There was just no chance for him to do anything. 18 and 20 for AAC. They equalize this game again, but there's not even much to equalize. It is so close all the time, and we're already 26 minutes in. Usually you have, in games like this, at least a 5 to 10k advantage already for one side, but yeah, this is open in any direction.
And the big difference is that the support's coming out from 4AC scales so hard with just the Blink Dagger, and they have it both on the Earthshaker and the Lion. So they have a pretty big leap in power compared to what Taco are getting. Io and Undying are pretty linearly scaling supports. Undying falls off very heavily in about now. The Undying's Tombstone is really not holding very much weight anymore, as the Bloodseeker and Shadow Fiend can destroy it at the start of the fight very reliably. So yeah, I think 4AC, even though the numbers are even, have a slight lead right now.
Yep. Bottom, unfortunately, there's nothing really to push. Again, they traded their jungles. It's the confused north and south on this map. 4AC is completely north, while we have in the south Taco, the Taco states pretty much. And who's faster now? Knocking on the high ground. That's quite interesting. I mean, pushing wise, if you have Tiny around, you're really fast. Like, probably faster than 4AC, which forces them back. But at the moment, 4AC is not pushing. They're coming back. Two of them are already TPing, and the rest is still there. The Earthshaker doesn't even have a blink. That's very interesting. We have he has a blink, he doesn't have a TP. That's what I'm somehow trying to convey through the microphone. They're waiting till someone is solo top here. Blink, Echo Slam into this, blink, Requiem on the Tiny. That's where we go, and there's the Echo Slam, there's the Requiem. He still has some HP left, but one race should just do the trick, and the TP out. That's the little trick they wanted to do all the time, and it pans out exactly as planned.
That's a hero that they really can't afford to be losing, and I don't think the Puck has enough to chase after Boogie on this Earthshaker. I'll snag the bounty rune. Queen of Pain's coming in from the right-hand side. Has a blink at the ready in 3 seconds to get the Dream Coil, so maybe I spoke too soon. The Earthshaker's going to go down in trade, but it's still worth it before ASC. That Tiny is a very important target to be bringing down.
Yep, also not greedy here, Jalopy, like not going for that kill secured Sonic Wave because they might need it just in some seconds in case there was some reinforcement coming in, but everybody accepted it. Still, in a direct comparison, giving the Earthshaker away for a Tiny, that is of course bad. Like even looking at this, like it's an 800 gold swing for a 900 gold swing or something like that. However, look at the next assassin, he had nice vision on him. This time they commit the Sonic Wave, and that should be enough right there. Latest in the base, he would have just popped from that Orchid damage, I think. And now bottom, they try to go for that tower. There is a cliff, and now the side rotation is coming in. Nemphy has his BKB in 5 seconds. And are they going? Yes, there's the X. Look at this, on Sona. There's nothing they can do. The line already being blown up, completely blown up. And now there's unfortunately no interrupt whatsoever. The Shadow Fiend just makes it out by walking, pretty much.
Yeah, and Io is going to be relocated just mere feet away from where he's standing, and Skin has really had a lot of these short relocates, but that one works out very nicely for the team. Shadow Fiend wasn't able to be a big part of that fight, but now Nemphy has a full Butterfly. He hasn't been sitting on any of those parts beforehand, and well, now he has a really big leap in power, but Butterfly or not, he might go down to the burst combination unless he can get his BKB through, and it looks like he's going to be just fine for now, but oh, Taco, they have a new lease on life. Jalopy's going to be chasing forward, partnered up with the Io. This could be an interesting engagement. Up in top lane, they're going to blink behind the Earthshaker, trying to disable him and blink over to the sideline. He does have a TP, but decides not to use it yet. As Boogie sticks around, but they find the Bloodseeker. He's going to get scythed up, and there's not much hope for this Bloodseeker. Neutral deny, not going to happen. Queen of Pain gets the mega kill.
Too bad. There's still some spirits. And oh, the Queen of Pain Jalopy.
Earthshaker with the Dream Coil and with the follow-up damage. That's going to be ES down. I think he should have TP'd out a long time ago. And now they're going to chase forward for a little bit more. Poor Valak's going to turn for the Earth Spike. Catches out the Queen of Pain as well as the IO. And that Tombstone won't cancel the blink coming out from the Lion.
But yeah.
So he's going to be home free.
A Tombstone is still like tanking incredible amounts of tower damage. Like I think a tower needs about 15 hits or so on a Tombstone. AKA this Tombstone is helping already with the next push. The next creep wave that's gonna come in will be the bolster you need. Look, there it is. Zombie Nation right there. You don't even know Zombie Nation. You're like 10 years old or something. Like never mind.
Something like that.
Yeah, never mind that. Like for the old people on the stream, they know what I'm talking about.
Relocate into the Radiant Woods, and well, you don't have to be old to recognize that Nyx Assassin is dead.
Yeah, nice little Nyx kill, and of course also getting pretty much the entire jungle plus a nice convenient free lane to farm. So yep, Taco making some nice plays here. Finally, we have some sort of advantage going in one direction. It is the Taco that actually makes the good moves.
Yeah, this is still problematic that the Shadow Fiend has so much farm. And MKB for the Tiny, although theoretically might come out this game, is going to be really long in coming. He's going to look for the Blink in, Hex, Requiem combination, and they'll catch out Puck, but with the Glimmercade, they'll survive. That's so much magic resistance. And now Dream Coil. The turnaround might be there onto Valix in particular. Valix drops so low, Sonic Wave will secure it. Nemphy is caught out. His BKB is dwindling in duration. They'll be able to chase forward. Silence up. Nemphy will try to right click to the best of his ability, but Avalanche Toss and Rupture will secure that kill. Oh, that wasn't actually a Rupture. Excuse me, I'm seeing weird particles, but regardless, blink forward for the Bloodseeker and the source of a theoretical Rupture. He's going to be silenced up and slowed, but with a Fissure that'll disengage.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And by the way, what I just noticed about Taco, besides them having, of course, a very nice fight, which ends up again in the tier 2 tower falling for AC, is the fact that if you just look, like, I don't know, in a weird angle to the top right, then it looks like Taco has like a 6th player. Like that Taco is almost as big as a normal player portrait, like a hero portrait. Like, I don't know. I was wondering like who's so low in HP, but it was just a Taco. And this is not some weird Hefla pun. No, this is really just me being totally confused.
I mean, a Taco could be the 6th player for Taco Life. If they're on a full stomach, that does make a difference. It's not to be understated, but Nyx Assassin's going to be hunting. He's Vendetta'd up, he's going to be going towards top lane. And this Nyx is getting dangerously close to having the Ags. One of the big benefits of going for the Midas before the blink. Yep.
Maybe we actually have Trixie here making a nice play on the Puck, but he has a Yule Scepter, he has Blink Dagger, the Orb. It's just not gonna work. I don't think he can ever do this alone. With the Earthshaker, with the 2nd stun, that might have been really something, but how did he actually see that? Did he expect this one? Because the only 2 wards we have here are 2 observers that, by the way, also run out, so they're gonna lose their little dire claim, or dire jungle claim for AC. So no more ganks, because you have no idea at the moment where you're actually going into. They are pointing out towards a gem. Who's actually a gem carrier?
Well, let's go ahead and see. At the moment, nobody's sitting on that geometry site.
I think they're gonna put it on the Shadow Fiend. Then again, he needs a TP, so someone else will get the gem.
Well, for now, Geometry Site is going to fly over towards that FSF, so Nemphy is going without Teleport Scroll. They'll look for a Fissure, not going to catch anything out, but as to the Puck backing, I think that's just a combination of good game sense and Joseph and just wanting to get back to the base as soon as possible to join the rest of the team. Right now, both of these teams are going to vie for control over the Roshan pit, and both teams have very good Roshan fights. So this is going to be an awkward dance where both teams back off, look for smokes, pretty much back to back, and for now it's Taco Life to go for that move. If you can find a single pickoff, that opens up the Roshan pit nicely.
Yeah, we also have some items that came out or will come out in the next some minutes that will actually change the game a tiny bit. Nyx Assassin, Argana Scepter, oh my god, Trixie, they found him, invisible right there. He still has a Spike Carapace, but still getting so much damage right now. He turns around, nice double stun here, but also the rest of them, all of them have been stunned. A beautiful Sonic Wave on pretty much all 4 right here. Requiem is coming out. No, it's not coming out. Or was that? I have no idea what actually just happened here, but he's going down. This is the 3rd one already. Gem on the crown, beautiful Echo Stun, but it's a tiny bit too late. The Bloodseeker is trying to turn the whole thing around, but he's just getting tossed on a target that will just kill him right there, and it's a full 5-man wipe. They're all dead in it, and the gem on the crown. That was horrible.
2 things happening in that fight that really turned it around. Taco that Sonic Wave was gorgeous. I think that clipped everybody, and if it wasn't everybody, it hit 4. It was really the saving grace in that fight. That is a maxed out Sonic Wave, even without Aghanim Scepter. That thing hurts a lot. 575 pure damage multiplied by 5 targets. Even though Queen of Pain dies, her influence was already felt. And the toss away on the Bloodseeker makes sure that Taco secure that advantage. It looked for a time that Shadow Fiend would get enough value from the Butterfly. The Queen of Pain missed like 2 to 3 last hits in a row, trying to kill off that SF, but they'll secure it, and now they'll get an Aegis right after the fact. My goodness, Queen of Pain bailed out that fight in such a huge way for Taco Life.
Like, is it really just my Volvo completely bugged? Or did he casted that Requiem, right? It got through.
He got it off.
But somehow it looked so, either it was like all absorbed by someone, I have no idea. It just barely did any damage, and I barely saw the animation. Maybe it's just me being completely overworked, but I don't know. That really sounded weird. I wasn't sure. It looked like a little bash, but then again I looked around, and who could have a bash except for example, the Dream Coil or anything like that, but nothing of that happened. Talking about bash, by the way, a lot of like 4 ASC BKB TPs out happened in the past, so I would actually like to look forward that the Tiny, for example, gets something to bash, or someone else, anything that could really just do the trick. But I guess the Aghanim Scepter puck. Was that Aghanim Scepter puck that interrupted it or something? Man, I'm so confused. I really have to watch the replay. Either way,
I'm gonna watch it on the stream now, actually.
Okay, that's very good. Either way, so we have the Aghanim Scepter on the puck, so that's of course one big progress right there. But I still wanted to say something else on top of that. Talking about it, Glimmer Cape on a Tiny. He has nothing to initiate. There's no Blink Dagger, and yeah, good feeling by Sona. Something was wrong. Something was just not right. And he's going back. There are a lot of TP scrolls. Ape Mother is like very efficient. And he's like, come on guys, we gotta get those TP scrolls. That's like 2 tickets home. Right here.
Yeah, I'm about to see that Requiem now, but Taco will continue the siege down in this bottom lane. With Aegis, they can very easily go for it. Yeah, the Requiem, that was very, very weird. It goes on cooldown, but it doesn't actually fly out.
Okay.
Not a clue. Not a clue.
I have no idea. Like, what did you say?
Yeah, the Requiem in that previous fight doesn't actually do any damage, I want to say.
I was so confused
Jump
about
in,
it.
silence, they're going to Force Staff out and empty, and that's a 4-second stun! They'll be able to kill off that Shadow Fiend now, Rupture over to the Queen of Pain, but does that even matter? This Bloodseeker, although he's trading a little bit of damage with Jalopy, just isn't doing enough. Queen of Pain blinks and kills herself on the Rupture. Buyback from the Shadow Fiend, joining this fray again. Ape Mother pops his BKB, Avalanche toss onto Trixie, going to do a lot of damage to this next. Blink and Echo catches out 3. Where's the follow-up damage for it? Ape Mother's going to secure himself a dominating spree, but now Bloodseeker's running at supersonic speeds. Will try to mop up a couple more of these kills, but just can't manage it. The Tiny doesn't even lose his Aegis that works so nicely for Taco Live.
Yeah. And the back
Bloodseeker coming in, he's salving up, he wants to come in, the Avalanche gonna miss, the toss will connect, and now he looks for the puck. Dual Scepter going to be used defensively, Ray's gonna be dodged by the Phase Shift, but now Puck in a bit of a pickle. The secondary Ray's going to miss, he'll be able to blink out to safety. Radiant's Courier is flying through, Tiny wants to go for it, but instead finds himself a tasty Bloodseeker, has a toss, has an Avalanche for just a second, turns for the Avalanche onto an empty after killing off the BS, and he gets a Craggy proc, are you kidding me? Do they have enough damage? The Butterfly mischances aren't going to save the Shadow Fiend, and Ape Mother still hasn't lost his Aegis. The Courier, it's going to fly into the enemy, and it's going to die. GG called out. Oh my goodness.
What just happened here?
I don't know.
What just happened? They had a good fight, they had a good start, they could have held the base, waited for the 30 seconds or so respawn timer after even the Shadow Fiend bought back, but they try to get something while they retreat from the base. I mean, first the retreat was saved by the Tombstone, and then later, I mean, the Bloodseeker, the 2 cores alone, it was just not happening. That last punch, or like I don't know, it wasn't even the last punch, but one before the last, interrupted by Cracky Exterior. The RNG definitely not on 4 ASC side, so 4 ASC, they lose to a Taco. That is not good.
Absolutely not, but Taco Life will be really happy for it. That can be some nice pocket money for their stack. So let's go and see what's going to happen to game number 2. The lobby's already up.
Yep, and before, yeah, exactly. Let's just go into the next one before I come up with worse jokes about food poisoning, for example. Anyway, so second game, Taco or 4 ASC? That's the question. 2-0, or have we a 1-1 and go into game 3? That's the question. Be right back.